The movie starts with paleoclimatologist Jack Hall speaking at the United Nations Global Warming Conference in New Delhi. The authorities are warned about a polar disaster coming soon that will turn everything into ice. Several of the ministers ask about the time left, and Jack replies that it may take some centuries, but if fossil fuel usage isn't reduced, their grandchildren will suffer. After the conference, Jack meets a representative from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, Terry Rapson, and the duo begin discussing their respective research. As they discussed, it snowed heavily, implying climate change had already begun. Over the next few days, different weather conditions strike different parts of the world. In Japan, huge blocks of hailstones start falling from the sky, crushing several people to death. These hailstones are the largest that have ever been recorded in history. Computers at Terry Rapson's monitoring station in Scotland show that parts of the ocean are experiencing massive temperature drops. As a result of the sudden and mysterious nature of the drops, communication signals placed there have instantly frozen. Elsewhere, at the International Space Station, astronauts notice gigantic storms brewing up in the Earth's troposphere. In the next scene, in Washington, D.C., Jack is dropping his son, Sam, at the airport. Sam is a genius student who has been invited to participate in a conference in New York. Sam appears angry with his father, although he is a well-known man. Jack has always been absent from Sam's life due to his busy schedule, but he assures Sam that once he retires, he will have all the time for his family. In New York, Sam and his best friends, Laura and Brian, notice a large flock of birds flying westward, as if they are escaping. In the meantime, Terry calls Jack from his monitoring station and informs him about his research. He says that the polar disaster is approaching them rapidly and that they have no time to escape it. In reply to Jack's question about whether it is bad, Terry says that such an event hasn't occurred in the past 10,000 years. We then see a technician enjoying time with his girlfriend at a weather monitoring center in California. Just then, he receives a distress call from a man, who reveals that it is raining hailstones in Las Vegas. Hearing this, the technician turns on the television and gets taken aback to see that hailstones the size of golf balls have destroyed parts of Las Vegas. He immediately calls his boss and tells him to issue a tornado warning in the state of California. However, it's too late. Within minutes, several gigantic tornadoes circle the city, destroying everything in its path. Because of this, an emergency meeting is conducted at the Office of Global Change in Washington, D.C. One of the attendees mentions the other destructive weather occurrences in different parts of the world and addresses that something has gone wrong. A few moments later, Jack, who is also among the attendees, reveals to the crowd that everything is due to the North Atlantic currents. The currents are brought upon by the rapidly melting polar ice, which in turn is caused by global warming. He also mentions that the weather will get worse on some days. In the next scene, Jack meets the president and tries to make him understand that the situation is very critical. He mentions that the polar blast may hit anytime soon, so mass evacuations in the northern states are necessary. However, the president doesn't take him seriously and walks away. Elsewhere in the UK, it has started snowing at a rapid rate, so 3 helicopters are sent to the royal palace to retrieve the Queen. However, on their way, they pass through an ice storm, which causes their equipment to freeze instantly. In no time at all, the chopper blades stop working as well, and all 3 helicopters crash to the ground. One pilot manages to survive the crash, but as soon as he opens the door, he is frozen to death. Back in New York, Sam and his friends try to get back to the city, but all the transport services have been derailed by the heavy downpour. Desperate to get out of the city, the trio walks to the streets, only to find the city in chaos. Just then, a massive tsunami appears out of nowhere and begins sweeping the place. The skyscrapers, and even the Statue of Liberty, are engulfed as if they are nothing. A group of Sam's friends recognize the impending danger and rush for safety to the National Library Hall. Sadly, thousands of people have been washed away and killed. Later, Terry calls Jack and informs him about the freezing air over Europe, which brought down the helicopters. A bit of research reveals that the storm is approaching the US sooner than expected, which alarms Jack. In fact, they only have 48 hours before everything freezes over. Following this, he opens the weather prediction, which shows that 3 cold weather systems are forming in different parts of the world. They are getting larger by the day, and in Europe, the polar disaster has already begun. Meanwhile, Sam desperately searches for a telephone in the library, as the place does not have any mobile phone reception. After a while, he reaches another floor and finds a telephone, which is almost submerged in water. Desperate to call his parents, he swims to the place and finally makes a call. Jack is delighted to find that his son is alive, and starts giving him instructions. He tells Sam that he must stay indoors, and wait for the storm to pass. If he goes outside, he is going to freeze to death instantly. Hearing this, Sam becomes worried, but Jack consoles him by saying that he will come to rescue him soon. The next day, as everyone in the library is gathering clothes and rations, they hear a strange noise from outside. When they peek through the window, they are shocked to see a cargo ship sailing through the place. In Washington, the head of state is having a meeting, and Jack is tasked with briefing him on the situation. Before even starting, he mentions that the worst is yet to come, which instills fear in everyone. He then suggests that the residents of the southern states must be evacuated immediately and moved to Mexico. Again, the vice president disapproves of the idea, claiming that an evacuation of this magnitude is impossible. He also asks what will happen to the residents of the north, to which Jack replies that it's too late for them. If they step out of their homes, they will immediately freeze to death. The best they can do is stay inside their houses and wait for the storm to subside. Surprisingly, the president takes Jack's advice and orders the military forces to evacuate the remaining people to the south. In New York, the people inside the library hall see a group of people walking on the frozen land. They are heading to the warmer states. As a result, they also decide to venture outside on road before the snow gets deeper. Sam, knowing about the impending danger of the storm, tries to warn everyone that it's a death mission, but he is completely ignored and everyone left. Soon, everyone leaves the library except Sam's group and a few other people. Meanwhile, Jack, Frank, and Jason start their trip to New York with their colleagues. Since the three have visited the Arctic Ocean many times for research purposes, they are familiar with the weather. Back at the library hall, Sam and his group scan through the whole building for eatables and discover some food vending machines. They also gather some notebook for burning in the fireplace. In another location, Jack and his crew hit a roadblock while traveling through the thick snow and were forced to continue their journey on foot. They walk for 5 hours with dedication, but unfortunately, when they reach on top of an under-construction building, Frank breaks the glass and falls in. He is caught by the lifeline rope, and the two friends are holding him up, but just then, the glass starts cracking and starting shaking. Hence, left with no choice, he cuts his lifeline and sacrifices himself so that his friends can continue their journey. At the library, Laura suddenly gets a fever and falls unconscious on the ground. Worried, the group starts searching for the cause and discovers that she has a wound in her leg, which might have caused her blood poisoning. One of the ladies in the group, who happens to be a doctor, mentions that Laura needs an urgent injection of painkiller or else she will have to faint. Desperate to save his friend, Sam decides to venture into the nearby cargo ship on road, hoping that it contains some medicine. As he is about to leave, Brian and another guy, JD, also decides to accompany him. In the next scene, the chief, who is now stationed in a military base, finds out that the president met with an accident and died while being evacuated. To make matters worse, the researchers also find out that the eye of the storm has shifted its course to New York City. Meanwhile, Jack and Jason are slowly making their way toward their destination, but unfortunately, Jason collapses from exhaustion. As a result, Jack is forced to carry his friend. At the library, all three finally head out and make their way to the cargo ship. However, along the way, their perfume is caught by a pack of hungry wolves who have broken out of the nearby zoo. Sam, Brain, and JD enter the cargo ship's kitchen and find some painkillers. As they searched for more supplies, a pack of wolves suddenly attacked them. Sam and Brian manage to escape to another room, but JD is severely bitten. Still, they manage to save him from them. As the three think of different ideas to escape the situation, Sam looks outside and sees the skies clearing. He then realizes that the eye of the storm is nearing them and that they don't have enough time left. Hence, he puts himself in harm's way and makes his way outside to make the wolves away from the kitchen. He then runs through the abandoned ship, narrowly escaping the wolves. After a while, he gets up with his friends, but by this time, JD is unable to stand on snow. Hence, Sam and Brian bring a basket and drag their friend to the library hall. On the other hand, as Jack is dragging Jason through the thick snow, he also notices the ice storm approaching at a rapid speed. Wasting no time, he starts searching through the snow for any houses. Fortunately, he finds an open kitchen vent and throws Jason inside, before getting in himself. As soon as he closes the door, the frost attacks the place and freezes everything. The boys also reach the library just in time and narrowly avoid death. They then try to keep the fire running, as it is the only thing that can save them from the brutal cold. He also manages to light a fire with an open stove after desperately trying. After a while, Jason wakes up and notices that everything has been covered in ice. Jack plans to resume his mission now that the eye of the storm has passed. Despite Jason's best efforts, Jack insists that he does not have enough time left, even though it is still dangerous outside. That night, the two sleep in a tent and contemplate the future of humanity. According to Jack, humans have survived the Ice Age many times, but if they are not careful enough, they could go extinct in this one. Finally, after weeks of stressful weather conditions, the International Space Station spots some healthy signs. They notice that the storm is vanishing in Europe, as they see a dusty land for the first time in several weeks. At the same time, Jack also gets out of the tent and sees the sunny sky. The sun has also come out of dark clouds. After walking for a while, they see the Statue of Liberty frozen over, along with several frozen ships. After days of suffering and excruciating pain, they finally reached the street. However, when they reach the exact location of the library with the help of a GPS, they are devastated to learn that it has been completely swallowed by deep ice. As they prepare to leave, the two notice a small opening in the snow. Within seconds, Jack enters the library through the opening, followed closely by Jason. The two then begin looking for Sam and fortunately, they find him. It turns out that Sam and his group are still alive because of the fire. With this, the father and son finally meet after weeks of separation from each other, despite the terrifying weather conditions. After this, the scene cuts to Mexico, where the new president learns that there are survivors in New York. It excites him, and he announces live on television that he is launching a major rescue operation to rescue anyone who is stranded in northern states. In the final scene of the movie, the choppers reach the library hall, where several people are found to be alive. They have gathered on the rooftops, waiting to be rescued. The helicopters also reach Jack, who is finally taken to the south. At the end of the film, an astronaut from the International Space Station gazes at the Earth and remarks that it's the clearest sky he's ever seen. Subscribe to Universal Recaps and turn on notifications for regular updates. Give a thumbs up if you like our content.